Welcome back, truth seekers. I think we're coming on. I think we're getting on the air right now. I want to go to my desktop for this presentation. We're going to be talking about the Economist cover from January 9th, 1988, which predicts a one world currency. A lot of symbolism on that cover, and we're going to talk about why they made the prediction for this year, 2018, 30 years after the magazine cover, and why we want to look out this month, October 2018. So let me get to my desktop here. I want you guys to see my entire screen. I think we should be in business. Hopefully you guys are seeing the desktop right now. Hide this here. Before we get into the magazine cover, just in case you're new here, I want to give you a sense of what we're going to be talking about. There's this code of letters and numbers that you can use every single day. This code's been in use for longer than any of our lifetimes. Every single day, news media around us is contrived by this code in accordance with dates on the calendar. And we're going to get to why the Economist covers from January 9th, that specific day in 1988. But just to do a little warm up before we go there, let's just look at two of the top stories. Let's just look at all three top stories. Two of them are related, and one is a mattress company going out of business. So we have the 53-year-old Kavanaugh advancing today on the day that leaves 87 days left in the year, when justice equals 87, and his nomination process is connected to Anthony Kennedy, which was connected to Robert Bork, who was rejected in the year 87. But anyway, Kavanaugh's 53 years old. There's a protest. Kavanaugh protesters are protesting at Mitch McConnell's house, having a kegger outside, and mattress firm declared bankruptcy today. So today is October 5th, 2018. If you can make that out, it's Friday, October 5th, 2018. The date numerology is 10 for October, plus 5 for the day of the month, plus 20 plus 18, the year in two parts. 10 plus 5 plus 20 plus 18 is 53. And in gematria, just using the alphabetic order, Kager is 53. Not arbitrary. Look at mattress firm, who's declaring bankruptcy today. Mattress firm 53. And if you're new here, what I've been exposing is everything, literally everything that comes through the media, even a company's bankruptcy. Every single day is news by the numbers by this code. This is the code of the elite. This is how the New World Order operates. And if you are new here, just real quick to familiarize yourselves with these four gematria ciphers, I'm going to put in the words gavel and judge. I just want you to see that gavel and judge down here on the lower part of the screen. Can you make that out? Gavel and judge are the exact same four in all ciphers. And if you learn these numerical values, you see how they're used ritualistically with dates. So the way this works is the dark green cipher is the alphabetic order. J is the 10th letter of the alphabet. U's the 21st. D's the 4th. G's the 7th. E's the 5th. You add it up, judge 47. The next cipher is the alphabetic order with the rules of numerology. So when I click on this down here, it shows you J's not 10 anymore. J's worth 1 because the numerology of 10 is 1 plus 0 was 1. U's not 21 anymore. It's 3 because the numerology of 21 is 2 plus 1 is 3. D's still 4. G's still 7. Notice how there's a 4-7 in the word. Also, E is 5. Numerology. This cipher is just the alphabetic order in reverse. So you're making Z1, you're counting back to A is 26. If you know that J is the 10th letter, the quick way to figure out what J is in reverse without using the calculator is just doing 27 minus 10. J is 17 in reverse. Use the 21st letter. 27 minus 21, use 6 in reverse. You see? 27 minus the alphabetic order placement. And this last cipher is the reverse alphabetic order with the rules of numerology. And, you know, again, all of this stuff is so important. Neil McGill Gorsuch, the last Supreme Court justice installed by the numbers, was installed April 7th, 4/7, which is the 97th day of the year. And with the alphabetic order, the word supreme equals 97. 97 is the 25th prime, like how judge and gavel equal 25. And that last justice installed is Neil McGill Gorsuch. His name sums to 88. And if you were just paying attention, gavel is 88, judge is 88. He was the first appointment by Trump, 88. the Republican Party equals 88. You know, they had to hold off for more than a year to get their justice. Understand it's all perfect numerical ritual. So we're just warming up here before we get to this magazine cover. But just understand, every single day, your news is all propaganda. You can see through every single thing done by understanding this code. Like, for example, every Senate vote, it's not a arbitrary vote that they ever have. It's always a ritual number. 51 to 49, he narrowly passes. This is to have a final vote to see if he's confirmed. He's not confirmed yet. This is just to have that final vote. But 51 to 49, what's that about? Federal equals 51 and Washington equals 49. These two ciphers are most important. All four are important, but the alphabetic and numerology are so important. The name Kavanaugh has gematria 49. His hearing process started September 4th. Okay, just establishing the relevance of the code. By the way, from the day he was nominated, which was July 9th, a date that can be written, whoops, I spelled it wrong. Kavanaugh was nominated July 9th, right? 9/7, nominated for the Supreme Court. And then his process started September 4th, a date that can be written 4/9. It ended, the hearing process ended September 7th, another date that can be written 9/7, but September 4th, 4/9, like 49, like Washington, like Kavanaugh. From July 9th, by the way, when you write out July 9th, I should just show you this, has that gematria 47, like Judge and Gavel. But from July 9th to September 4th, was 57 days later, Supreme Court 57, Washington, D.C., the home of the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry, Scottish Rite 57. You know, George Washington was a Scottish Rite Freemason, inaugurated at age 57. Again, I'm just trying to set all this up so you understand that this code has been in place since the beginning of this nation, because this point has everything to do with why this is the magazine cover, January 9th, 1988. If you're not aware of who Manly P. Hall is, he was the Freemason who shared a lot of Freemasonry secrets. And in fact, it's because of Manly P. Hall that I even learned about this gematria code once upon a time. And when I learned about it, I didn't even realize that the passage on the website that I was reading was from Manly P. Hall, but I learned later that what that website had shared was from Manly P. Hall's book, The Secret Teachings of All Ages. And in Manly P. Hall's writings, he discloses a number of times the United States of America was founded by a secret Masonic order known as the Order of the Quest, and their symbol is the phoenix. And the mission of the Order of the Quest is to install a one world government, a one world currency. But the thing about Manly P. Hall is he doesn't explain it as it's some evil, sick plan. He explains it as it's a perfect plan. It's meant about perfecting the world, making the world a better place, making the world a place that's more about, you know, philosophy and justice and truth. And, you know, perhaps Manly P. Hall really did believe that this one world order, I mean, he's from quite a bit further back in time, but still a very corrupt time. I don't know if Manly P. Hall was a half-truther or if he sincerely believed in this mission. The point is, he does explain this. He explains, again, that the United States of America was founded by a Masonic order. They call themselves the Order of the Quest. Their symbol is the phoenix, because the phoenix rises from the ashes. You know, they come out of the destruction, born anew. And I mean, just think about what they did here in this land, the United States of America. They killed everybody who lived here. They rewrote history. You know, they said those people didn't count. They were just cannon fodder in the way of manifest destiny. Christopher Columbus discovered the land where people already lived. When you understand what the mission is that's in place, what's really taking place in this world, it all starts to make sense. You know, out of a genocide came a new nation, out of the ashes. And with that said, let's get into this magazine cover. We're going to break down every single piece of symbolism on this cover, from The Economist to what's up here in the subheadlines, to the title, Get Ready for a World Currency, to why they used a phoenix coming out of burning money. You know, phoenix comes out of the burnt ashes. to why they used the number 10 on this gold coin with the word Phoenix and the year 2018. The only thing that I can't tell you about, because I'm not so good with my astrological symbols, is I don't know what this symbol means in the beginning. So if I can figure out how to get to the chat, maybe we can even uncover that piece, because I'm going to need some help with that. But I can take apart every other thing on here, and that's what we're going to do. Why 30 years before 2018 did this come out? January 9th, 1988. So let's do it. I'm actually going to skip down. We'll come back up to this. I'm just going to skip down right here to the date January 9th. The majority of the world writes that date 9/1, like 91, and the word Phoenix with the alphabetic order equals 91. That should be pretty easy to understand, right? The Phoenix is front and center. What most people don't know is what the Phoenix represents and to who. In the United States, we write the date 1/9 like 19, right? 1/9 like 19. And again, the Masonic motto is order out of chaos. And the concept of the Phoenix fits right into that. You know, something destroyed, burnt to ashes, and then the beautiful new thing comes out of it. September 11th, 2001, you know, New York City covered in ash. And what came out of it? You know, a more enhanced new world order, a nation where people were terrorized, fearful, ready to give up their liberties, ready to give up more tax dollars for Big Brother, security, surveillance, ready to go start more unnecessary wars, order out of chaos. And don't forget, September 11th, 1990, 11 years to the day, George Herbert Walker Bush gave the speech about the New World Order, a world freer of terrorism. And he gave that speech more than one time. But yes, September 11th, 1990 was one of those days, 11 years to the day. And then his son's the president. When in the 11th state, New York, the giant buildings that look like 11s come crumbling to down to the ground after the first flight, supposedly AA-11, hit the buildings. You know, towers were 110 stories tall, 110, 11, the master number in numerology. So anyhow, this date numerology, January 9th, 1988, also a date with 117 numerology. When you write out 13, it sums to 117. And with regards to 91, that's the 13th triangular number, which means if you add 1 through 13 together, it equals 91. And here in the United States, I want you to think about our currency. It's got 13 all over it. Feathers. It's got 13 layers of bricks on the all-seeing eye pyramid. The word cash has gematria 13 too. Talking about the one world currency. Probably be electronic. So, important starting point right there. Let's come back up to some other points. We're going to go through everything that's on this cover. Get ready for a world currency. That's what's their headline here. Notice the gematria of 133 and 137. Government has that gematria of 133 and 137. And again, the order of the quest, their mission is a one world government, a one world currency, a one world spiritual philosophy system. This is what they're after. Not arbitrary that these numbers are coded into this headline. 137, the 33rd prime number, big number with masonry. 137, the 33rd prime, 133 has a 33 in it. Masonry 33, secrecy 33, order 33, federal 33. So anyway, that's one piece. Now here's another. The Economist has gematria of 61. That's the 18th prime number. Here we are in 2018. The word money has gematria of 18. We know who controls the banks. The Zionists control the banks, mostly Jewish. This code of letters and numbers is Jewish and Masonic. In Jewish numerology, 18 represents the meaning of life. When a Jewish child turns 13 at their bar mitzvah, the Jewish custom is to give the child money in multiples of 18. So you would give $18 or $36 or $54 or $72 or $90 or $108 or $126 or $1,800 or $18 million. You know, if you're somebody like Donald Trump. Anyway, this stuff is not arbitrary. The Economist 61, the 18th prime. There's more on here that's important. Like the Economist is also 56. And that same cipher, all-seeing eye, is 56. Big boss number. Think about the all-seeing eye on the dollar bill. All-seeing eye is also 61, the 18th prime, you see? And don't overlook the 119. 9/11 had a lot to do with money. Orthodox, 119. Star of David, 119. Break out the exceptions on the reverse cipher. Ashkenazi Jews is 119. Dancing Israelis on September 11th. New World Order. If you take off the and just have Economist, you have Gematria 41, the 13th prime. We talked about how the date connects to 13, how the Phoenix connects to 13. Economist 130, 13 with a 0 at the end. But the other big one is right here. Economist 113. Very special number, 113. It's the 30th prime number. The 30th prime. And again, to verify all this stuff, you can use gematria.com. Just come to Tools, Number Properties. You can type in 113. It'll tell you if it's prime. Yes, it is. It's the 30th. We're talking about a magazine cover from 1988, 30 years before 2018. And like we were talking about how 91 is the 13th triangular number. 91 triangular, yes, it's the 13th. So this calculator makes things very simple. All right, so far we've covered the Phoenix, this headline, the Economist. We're going to end up taking apart why 88 and what's up with these subheadlines and why 10 on the gold coin. So 1988, and they have this prediction for 2018 when Donald Trump's president. And notice in Gematria, Trump equals 88. Now, don't forget who Donald Trump is. He's Mr. Bailout. He's Mr. Failure. He's Mr. Born with a silver spoon in his mouth. And also don't forget that he was announced as the 45th president-elect on the anniversary of the fall of the wall, the Berlin Wall. And with the fall of the wall, think about Wall Street. And in case you're new here, Donald Trump's number 45. Berlin Wall has that gematria of 45. Not an accident that he was announced as the 45th president-elect on the anniversary of the fall of the Berlin Wall. It's also not an accident that his Zionist minion Mike Pence is the VP. Mike Pence 45 in both the reduction ciphers. And I want to come back to Berlin Wall. Notice the 63 over here. Again, look up that mattress commercial with Donald Trump talking to sheep on pillars, number 11 and 9. 2 sheep with 11 and 9 on them, standing on pillars in a hallway. Donald Trump wearing the same suit and tie. Here, let's just look it up. Serta, Donald Trump, commercial, sheep. It should pull it up. Here it is right here. So here's Donald Trump, Serta mattresses. This commercial was filmed in 2009. Serta equals 63, just like Berlin Wall. 63, by the way. Here's another kicker with 63. You got to know this stuff. 2016, check this out. 2016 is the 63rd triangular number, like how Donald Trump became the president-elect in 2016. Think about what the numerology of 63 is, too. It's 6 plus 3 is 9. But anyway, here's Donald Trump wearing the same suit and tie. If you've never seen this commercial, just look it up. I'm not going to play it just in case I get some copyright strike BS. But Donald Trump talks about being born for the job. Born for the job. Him, Clinton, and George W. Bush all born in the same year right next to each other. What are the odds that he runs against Clinton's wife? And for all of you guys who think he's like the Republican savior, are you aware that this man was a Democrat his whole life until he was 60-some years old? I mean, anyway. Donald Trump, same suit and tie, born for the job, talking to sheep on pillars, 11 and 9, and a Serta ad announced as the 45th president-elect on this date, 11/9. You know, him at the end, he says, looking good, number 9, looking good. And if you add 1 through 9 together, it equals 45. Now, what do you think this commercial was really about? Again, when you watch this commercial, you're going to see how this last sheep gets the last word. And he says, where is your dignity? And I mean, what kind of line is that to sell a mattress? These companies don't need to sell you mattresses. These are New World Order companies. It's just more about instilling messages and propaganda and predictive programming. Serta mattresses charging you what? $5,000 for a mattress? Just ripping you off. Anyway. So, Donald Trump, follow the wall, Mr. Wall Street. Hey, here's another one you guys might remember. He had his GOP convention in Cleveland, Ohio, July 18th, 18/7, to span 187 days from Washington, Inauguration Day in Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. equals 187, and you know the rest. But Quicken Loans, at the same time that Donald Trump was announced as the president-elect, had the commercial about Humpty Dumpty falling off his wall. I want you to notice that Humpty Dumpty equals 58. And this cipher right here, it's the most important one. Freemasonry's 58. Secret Society's 58. Donald Trump was the winner of the 58th U.S. presidential election. He announced he was running from the 58-story Trump Tower. He hired the 58-year-old Steve Ray for Inauguration Day, which fell on a date with 58 numerology. So anyway, Trump, Humpty Dumpty, the wall. He has this thing in Quicken Loans Arena. At the same time, Quicken puts out a commercial about Humpty Dumpty falling off the wall. Understand, all of this stuff is mocking us and what's planned. You know, Donald Trump is just a puppet on strings to carry out an agenda that was in place long before he even existed. But again, this ad came out in '88, or this magazine cover, and let's just go through it. Trump, they got him in place in the nation that all of the world currencies are pegged against. If the U.S. ever went under, it would be bad news for everyone else in the world. Trump 88, Jewish 88, Donald Trump, the first Jewish president. Yes, he is. That's why he was wearing his little skull cap on Jerusalem Day when he was at Israel, visiting the Western Wall, where they plan to build the third temple. Again, just in case you guys missed my video on how Donald Trump's part of the planned destruction of Dome of the Rock and the building of the third temple, which he is. Third temple, 58. Herod's temple, 58. Solomon's temple, 58. Been talking about why August 11th, 2019 is the likely date, how it comes 811 days after Trump's visit to the Western Wall on May 22nd, 2017. 811 days, 8/11. Check out the video I just did on it. Why they had the October 3rd emergency alert and how that syncs up with August 11th, 2019. Anyhow, Trump 88, it's a Jewish conspiracy 88. The Zionists are headquartered out of London 88. I mean, what's at the top of this magazine cover? Can Britain keep booming? You know, Freemasonry spread across the world out of Britain. Not a secret. They even have a show about it on Netflix. This whole agenda is Masonic. Again, Manly P. Hall spells that out very clearly in his work. Except for Manly P. Hall thinks it's great. London 88. Don't forget that, Banks has Gematria of 88. And don't forget that Donald Trump, on July 18th, 2016, the start date of his convention, he came out to Queen, the British band, We Are the Champions, and that was exactly 88 days after Queen Elizabeth's birthday. And don't forget Bill and Hillary Clinton. They came out in purple to concede to Trump, not accidentally, because it's all just one big puppet show. Consider Donald Trump also took the White House in 2017, 88 years after the last market collapse in 1929. 2018 is 89 years later. The word chaos has gematria of 89 as well as 19, like we talked about earlier. Remember this 26 too. We're going to come to 26. 89 years is 2018 since the last market collapse, big chaos number. 89, the 11th Fibonacci number. The 11th month, not too far off. I think we're in a window right now, somewhere between October and November, that we see a big market fallout. And if you've been following my work on the market, I said we're not going to see the Dow past 26,000, which it hasn't. And I said when it gets high in the 26,000s, it's going to be a sign that the collapse is near. It just did get real high in the 26,000s, and now it's been falling. So I'll tell you why I made that prediction here in just a moment. But let's keep moving on. So we got a gold coin. We got a gold coin, like how we have a president with a golden comb over. But the word 10 and the word Phoenix written right on here. And why? Here's why. When you write out 10, it has gematria of 42, like Zionism, like Freemason, like Manly P. Hall. I want you to look at the word economics in Freemason in all four base ciphers. Perfect overlap in all four. With regards to the alphabetic order and the alphabetic order with the rules of numerology, the divisors of 42 sum to 96. See how that is? So this is why we get a 10 on the gold coin, because this is whose agenda it is. Now, as for the Phoenix, Phoenix has the gematria of 26, like dollar, like bank, like God, which is why in God we trust is written on our currency. Do you know that our currency is all based in faith, just like God? There's no bank, there's no gold at the banks, there's no gold at Fort Knox. All of our dollar value is just based on our faith in it. Our faith that if we get those dollars, we can buy stuff with it. We can pay our bills with it. If we go to work, we'll get paper money that we can use to spend on things. And it's our belief in that system that keeps the whole thing going. And I should show you something about 26. If you write it out, 26 also sums to 42. See how it all comes together so nicely? A little too nicely, doesn't it? So this is why you got the Phoenix with the 10 and the gold. Show you something about the word gold using the alphabetic order. Remember the golden anniversary of the Super Bowl was on the 38th day of the year, February 7th, and the team from the 38th state, Colorado, won it. Colorado got those mines with the gold. But notice gold, 38 right here. Think about the word jewelry. Look at the word Jew. Think that's an accident? It is not. It is not. So again, Manly P. Hall said the order of the quest is, this agenda, centuries in the making, centuries in progress, ongoing work, secret societies working together to bring about the one world order, a world based in, and again, he makes it sound nice, a world based in justice and peace and philosophy. But salesmen, they usually sell you a nice line of BS just to get you to buy the product, don't they? And I don't think it's too much different, unless Manly P. Hall was just severely mistaken. But I still gotta thank Manly P. Hall for putting out the knowledge that he did, because honestly, if he hadn't, I don't think I would have ever figured out any of this. Check out Order of the Quest. That's what he refers to it as. Order of the Quest 74, Masonic, Jewish, London. Consider Manly P. Hall says the Order of the Quest established the United States of America. Holiday 74. Independence Day 74. Again, English 74. Gematria 74. Occult 74. We can go on all day with that number. So let's come back up to the magazine cover now. Some more pieces we want to talk about. Can Britain keep booming? Last night I was just talking about what's coded in the word Britain in British. Check that out. Has everything to do with this nation. But look at this right here. Another headline is about this Japanese prime minister, right? Takeshita comes to town. And I want to show you what's so awesome about this. We were just talking about how the Order of the Quest equals 74. Takeshita ended up being the 74th prime minister of Japan. Isn't that great? The 74th prime minister of Japan. And like I've always said, all of these New World Order puppets are birthed and named accordingly. Look at his birthday, February 26th. Watch how we put this together. Just watch this. Japan equals 42. We just talked about 42, right? Who controls the world economics? The Freemasons? Yes, they do. The Zionists? Yes, they do. But anyway, Japan, New World Order nation, ever since the World Wars. Japan, 42. When you write out 42, it sums to 74. So very special that he was the 74th PM. And what else is awesome is his name sums to 226. And again, his birthday is February 26, 2/26. And not only that, but when you write out 226 as a word, it sums to 93. Japan, when you flip the alphabetic order around, is 93. And don't forget, February 26th, 93, that's the date of the 93 World Trade Center bombing by the numbers. If you have not read my book, Letters and Numbers, the chapter on 9/11 shows how perfectly synced up the February 26th, 93 World Trade Center bombing was with the September 11th, 2001 bombing. 93. Here, I'll give you a little lesson right here. I'm going to get rid of some of these ciphers. I want to get rid of everything but the alphabetic order, and I want to add in Francis Bacon. That's where capital letters matter. Saturn has gematria of 93 and 119. It's plus 26 for each capital letter. So like if I spelled Saturn with just a lowercase, it wouldn't make a difference. It's capital letters that make the difference with Francis Bacon. You do capitalize Saturn. So 93, 119. I want you to think about 93 World Trade Center bombing. I want you to think about September 11th, 11/9. Saturn to the occult is the keeper of time, connected to death and judgment. And here's how 93 and 226 come together. I'm going to get rid of this cipher right here. Actually, I'm going to get rid of this cipher too. I'm just going to bring up the Jewish cipher, and we're going to type in. You see how Saturn equals 511? By the way, Donald Trump's presidential campaign was 511 days and not by accident. But this is what I want to show you. The word planet has gematria of 226. Again, there's this relationship with 226 and 93. This is where the relationship comes from. So it's not an accident that this guy ended up being the 74th prime minister. It's not an accident that this guy is on the cover of this entire cover, where this is the order of the quest symbolism, which almost no one would ever catch. Investment banks pull back. Perestroika's first test. We're going to go over these things now. So coming back down. Look at the gematria of perestroika, 137, like government, like authority, like what was coded into the headline. Again, 137, the 33rd prime. In Hebrew gematria, Kabbalah equals 137. Hebrew is where this whole significance of letters and numbers comes from. Again, in Kabbalah, it says that God created the world by merging the letter with the number. And remember what we just learned about God? God, 26 letters in the English alphabet. In God we trust on the dollar. You see, in case you're new here, the alphabetic order and the rules of numerology, if you just write letter, sums to 26, like there's 26 letters in the English alphabet. It's one of our base ciphers there. But hold on, a few more things to cover. We're almost done. You just see all across the world, all of these things that are contrived, and it's just the same thing all across the world, the same coding again and again. These groups created, divide people, distract them temporarily, give them some false hope. It's just the same thing again and again. And with regards to 137, I want you to think about the Freemason logo, the compass set at 47 degrees, the square at 90 degrees, 137 degrees of measurement, 137, the 33rd prime, a capital G in the middle. You know how we just talked about with Francis Bacon, how capitals matter? What is capital G? G's the 7th letter. What's 26 more? And Francis Bacon was a Freemason and a Rosicrucian, by the way, who used this code. King James's right-hand man. Capital G is 33. So you get 137 degrees of measurement around the capital G, which can symbolize 33. And also for the record, there's another cipher where you multiply the alphabetic order times 6. What's 7 times 6? G becomes 42, the Freemason number. And this is the Freemason symbol. So this is the beauty of these different ciphers and how they're used. And that's why you want to know the different systems. With regards to 47, authority equals 47 as well. Government 47, these are our base ciphers. Banks 47. Who controls the banks? The banks are completely Zionist and Masonic owned and operated. 47 is also a big number with time. I want you to think about the George Orwell book, 1984. Remember how all along the campaign trail I was saying Donald Trump was straight from 1984? I said there's just never been a more in-your-face 1984 candidate. And then as soon as he was president-elect, all of a sudden Amazon reported that 1984 was the best-selling book on Amazon just out of the blue. And I thought, God, they just love to mock us, man. Don't tell me we're not ahead of these people. But the quote from Orwell is, "He who controls the past controls the future. He who controls the present controls the past." Has everything to do with time. He who controls the past controls the future. So, I mean, essentially, like, if you won the World War and you're in control of the world and its currency and everything, well, you're in control of the road ahead. Then the other part is, he who controls the present controls the past. Well, that's just like how these people control our media and our publishing books and our education system. So then they teach us history the way they want us to understand it. And speaking of history, has that gematria 42, not accidentally. We know who controls the present and the past. These guys. 42, the 42 gang. Now, Orwell was a member of the Fabian Society, which is a Masonic order. And the Fabian Society was established in 1884. So the title of his book was about the 1 century anniversary of the Fabian Society, which was a Masonic order interested in world control. And just notice Masonry and Jesuit are both 84. The Jesuits are the Masons within the Catholic Church. It's the unholy alliance here. This is who controls the New World Order. The bankers, the Catholic Church, which is a bank in itself. But I also want to make a point about Orwell in 47. On what would have been his 47th birthday is when the Korean War began. Another needless war. And if you've never read 1984, it's about a nation that's a lot like the United States of America. And speaking of which, United States of America, 84, nation founded by, Masons, Catholic Church, major influence, Jesuits. Anyhow, if you never read the book, it's about a nation a lot like the United States of America that's always at war overseas. The people know its nation's at war, but they don't exactly know why. Sound familiar? The people are ruled over with screens and fear and intimidation. History is being changed as history on goes. People are demonized, punished for speaking out. This is the path we've been on. 1984 wasn't a warning, it was the playbook. George Orwell wasn't a nice guy. He was part of this network, mocking us in plain sight by a code that most of us had no clue about. A Masonic code, a Zionist code, a Kabbalah code. In Kabbalah in Hebrew equals 137. Get ready for a world currency. And with regards to Orwell being a member of the Fabian Society, Fabian has the gematria of 33 and 39. Look at Masonry. 33, 39. Look at secrecy. 33, 39. Look at federal. 33, 39. Masonry based in Judaism and the 39 books of the Old Testament. It's not hard to see. Not at all. Come back down here and make one last point because I think I forgot to. Banks has the gematria 47. The banks control the world. All wars are bankers' wars. All media is banker media propaganda, essentially. Money rules this world. The banks control the money. But this 47 degrees, it's a tribute to the 47th problem of Euclid about how to establish foundation. And again, foundation 47, money is the foundation of this world. We don't have a choice. We got to have it. Well, we can be homeless and beg. I guess that's the choice. You want to be homeless and beg? I actually know that some people do make that choice. And in a way, it's pretty noble. But you can't fight back from that position. You can't fight back against the New World Order from that position. Not unless everybody did it. Not unless we all decided to become homeless and never pay our bills or another drop of taxes. But I don't think most people are going to do that. So I try to be realistic in my fight. I try to go and use the tools of my time, the internet, the web, my voice. I did this for free for 5 years, paying for it myself. Now I'm trying to raise a little bit of coin so I can take it to the next level. And I do realize that, money is their game. But at the same time, it looks like we're going to have to play the game a little to get ahead. So I wanted to see the chat. Maybe I can see the chat if I come here. Is this chat live? The chat is slow. Thumbs up from Marty. Marty's always supporting. I'd like to know what Marty does. Marty has a lot of free time, which I appreciate. Always giving me smiles and laughs. Let me see here. I didn't do any sports decoding today. I gave you guys 6 for 6 on the baseball picks this week. I gave you guys the 16 parlay for last NFL weekend. I'm giving you guys more than your money's worth. So, I teach you guys how to fish. I just put up the video yesterday, how to decode sports games. So if you want to know who's winning, please use the knowledge. You guys are going to burn me out. And don't tell me I'm cheating you because I gave you guys a ton. Can you explain August 11th, 19? Well, Jeff, I have a playlist on August 11th, 19. It's a lot to explain, but real quick for anyone who has the same question as Jeff, because it is an important question, even though I wish you guys would search my videos and watch my playlists. I don't make the videos for nothing. It's not like the video expired or it's like bad food in the fridge. You can still watch it. But this is the thing about August 11th, okay? Next year, August 11th, 2019, there's a lot of things that matter. First of all, August 11th is the date of Tisha B'Av. And Tisha B'Av is to remember the destruction of the two temples. And the destruction of the two temples are part of the prophecy of the coming third temple and the Jewish Messiah arriving through the Golden Gate and, one world being under one spiritual leader. And think about how that fits in with this whole one world currency and government. All of these things are coming into place. And if you haven't been following me since 2013, I said I started speaking out in 2013 because I felt like we had about 5 years, not much longer, until, things got out of hand and maybe there would be no more opportunity to speak back. And I wouldn't say I'm incorrect about that. I mean, I've had my YouTube channel deleted 20 times since June of 2017. I lost what? Thousands and thousands of hours of research that I'd presented on the web. I essentially lost 5 years of hard work that I had put out at my own expense because Google decided to censor me. I mean, so the censorship thing is becoming more and more real, obviously. And there are a lot of signs that, something bad's on the horizon. At the time of September 11th this year, there was a story circulating in the media about this red heifer being born in Israel that foreshadows this great coming destruction from Revelation and the prophecy of the third temple. And they said that cow was born on September 4th, the day leaving 118 days left in the year, 118 days. And I thought, 118, how does that reflect next year with dates that correspond? So I looked up August 11th. I saw, oh my God, August 11th, 11/8, like 118 is the date of Tisha B'Av, which has to do with the third temple. So that was the first piece I saw. And then I started to just look at more things, and I saw that South Park and The Simpsons had done a cartoon about the prophecy of this cow and the destruction, and both of them had hints in the cartoon, as I pointed out, that point exactly to the date, August 11th, 2019. Ginger cow has gematria of 142. August 11th is the day leaving 142 days left in the year. The word terrorist equals 142. Don't forget what the original definition of terrorism is: government by intimidation. You already have Zionist propaganda saying out the different sects of Islam are going to bomb Temple Rock. They're already creating the narrative to blame it on the boogeyman in the cave again. The Simpsons cartoon about the red heifer the cow of prophecy and destruction, that came out on the 118th day of the year. Do you know what that number is that you guys probably see on my screen right now? They keep calling today, and it's the third time they've called. That's the local police department raising money. And the last two times they called, I asked them about the shooting in Florence and if they thought that was a coincidence with the storm Florence just hitting there. The police isn't calling me because I'm in trouble. They're calling for a fundraiser. And both times they called, I said, maybe I'll give some money if you can tell me if this is a coincidence. And they're like, we'll call you back later. They just hung up. So third time they've called. It's too bad. I should have picked it up right there and did it again in live stream. Could have been funny, but that is what's going on with that. So anyway, August 11th, 2019, Tisha B'Av Day. There's predictive programming for it. There's a TV show called Dig about the Zionist conspiracy to blow up Temple Mount for the third temple. Did a video on how the release date of that show is perfectly synced up with August 11th, 2019, just like the cartoons. Donald Trump visited the Western Wall. Okay, so Donald Trump visited the Western Wall May 22nd, 2017 for Jerusalem Day. That's the 142nd day of the year, leaving 223 days remaining. 142, 223. He visited that exactly 811 days before August 11th, 811. And August 11th is the 223rd day of the year, leaving 142 days remaining. So the dates are reflections of each other. And the Western Wall is where they're planning to build the third temple. And Donald Trump was wearing his little Jewish cap. And the thing about 223 is the synagogue of Satan equals 223. They're even saying in the media this prophecy comes from Revelation. Well, in the prophecy of Revelation, the false Jews rule, and they are the synagogue of Satan. The synagogue of Satan equals 223. August 11th, definitely a good day for them to strike. And again, it's the day leaving 142 days. Terrorist equals 142. They said the 9/11 attack lasted an hour and 42 minutes. I'm just doing all of this off the top of my head right now, you guys. I'm just thinking. Also, the other big piece in the Quran Code. So the Quran Code was discovered in 1968, supposedly. 1968. And that's the year 911 was made the National Emergency Dialing Code. The year World Trade Center construction began. The year George W. Bush graduated from Yale and Skull and Bones. Anyway, in the Quran Code, 19 is the secret number in the Quran. 19. And we're talking about August 11th in the year 19. Like we just talked about in this video, if you were watching, the word chaos has gematria of 19. The Masonic Zionist agenda is order out of chaos, fulfilling their New World Order agenda after one contrived tragedy after the next. You know, create the problem, provide the solution. Blow this up, further build their world order, as they've been doing here. So August 11th, 2019, with regards to Islam, that's also the day of sacrifice on the Islamic calendar, the way it falls this year. It's amazing how all this stacks. Tisha B'Av, day of sacrifice. What do you think might get sacrificed? And also next year, on August 11th, it's during the time of the Hajj, which is the Muslim pilgrimage to Mecca. So there's more Muslims in that part of the world than at any other time of the year. Think about how just on the other year, a big crane fell at Mecca on September 11th. I mean, talk about mocking. The cube that they all walk around at Mecca is known as Kaaba, which has gematria of 119, like how the date September 11th is 11/9, like how the cube symbolizes Saturn and Saturn equals 119. The reason the cube symbolizes Saturn, I'll pull back up the Gematrinator calculator here for a second to show you guys this. With the dark blue cipher, which is very important, probably the most important of the 4 base ciphers, Saturn equals 21. That's the 6th triangular number. If you add 1 through 6 together, it equals 21. Think about it. Think about it. Saturn's the 6th planet from the sun. A cube has 6 sides. That's why the cube symbolizes Saturn. That's why these Jews that, you know, do everything by a code, that's why they wear the cubes on their forehead. Israel's boundaries were drawn up on September 3rd in history, 9/3, Saturn, big 93 number. Done a lot of work on, again, if you haven't read my book, please do, because All this stuff I talk about, it's in there. And if you read the book, then you just have a nice index. And that's the other thing for all of you who are sleeping on the book. I mean, if they ever take down my channel, they can't take away the book once you got it. You know, Etsy took down my book temporarily last Monday. It could be permanently taken down from the web, and then you won't even be able to get it. And lo and behold, the whole thing's priced for $5 right now. Continues to sell as poorly as it has been. I'm going to raise the price to like $100, honestly, because that's really what at least it should sell for. There's well worth more than $100 of knowledge in that book. Consider it took me 5 hours and thousands of hours to write. So did I say 5 hours? I meant 5 years. It took me 5 years to write. So anyway, I think I answered the question about August 11th, 2019. Please see the playlist because there's even more. Again, Donald Trump's part of it. He's the winner of the 58th U.S. presidential election. Third temple equals 58. Herod's temple equals 58. Solomon's temple equals 58. Jerusalem 58. Freemasonry 58. Secret Society 58. Yoey70 just bought the book. Thank you. Much appreciated. I see you out there. Crystal says you will not be disappointed. She's right on. Thank you. The book begins with, why are there 26 letters in the English language? Hey, there's this guy out here on YouTube. I just want to say this right now. There's this guy on YouTube who I'm not so sure about. I want to believe that he's down for the good fight. He's really good at making videos, and he's making these great compilation videos of Zionist supremacy. And from what I understand is he was a big Trump InfoWars supporter until about a year ago, and the light bulb went off in his head, and he realized that Trump was not who he thought he was, and he realized InfoWars was actually a shill program and pure Zionism. And he seems authentic to me. His channel's called No More News, and his name's Adam Green. It's interesting he has a Jewish last name. But I've been trying to reach this guy now for about a week, and he will not respond to me. And the only thing that I'm suspicious about this guy is he has like InfoWars doing debates with him online. And I'm just thinking, really? I mean, InfoWars wouldn't dare touch me. And he just has all these different people that have pretty popular YouTube channels interviewing him and stuff. And I'm just thinking, really? All these people want to interview him about exposing Zionism, but they don't want to interview me? Because, I mean, I don't mean to toot my own horn, but nobody has done as much damage to Zionism in the world, not even close to what I've done. And the thing is if this guy's really trying to expose Zionism, why is he ignoring me? Like last night, I was trying to get his attention through his whole live stream, and he's interviewing this guy that doesn't know anything about anything. You know, this guy that looks like he's from the Your Mother's Basement clan, smoking his, what do you call those things? Your vape pen. I mean, you just look like an idiot smoking your vape pen on the screen. I don't care if you vape, but I mean, save it for later. And I mean, the guy's talking about the Oregon standoff like it's legitimate. I mean, come on. Who's the guy who said what day the Oregon standoff was going to end the same day it began? That would be me. You know, one of a million things I've called. How many people in the world could do that? Call the exact day the Oregon standoff would end and why it would end 41 days later? I did it. For those of you who weren't here, the Oregon standoff began in the middle of Oregon, in the middle of nowhere. By the way, I'm from Oregon. I know all about the state. Where that standoff began, nobody lives out there. Nobody's around there. It's barren desert. How would the news media know about some guys occupying a federal building that's been closed for months that no one's around and have a news story ready to roll? And not only that, but did you notice the timing of the story? Oregon, the college football team, had just lost in the Alamo Bowl. Oregon, the college team, had just lost in the Alamo Bowl, where the Alamo was a standoff. And then as soon as that ends, there's a news story ready to roll. Breaking news. Standoff in Oregon. Oh, my God, you guys. Well, what I said right then is I said, look, Oregon just lost with 41 points. 41's the 13th prime. The Alamo lasted 13 days. If this standoff ends 41 days later, it'll end on February 11th, the 42nd day of the year. And look, just check it out. It was ranchers, right? Ranchers were doing the standoff. Ranchers, 41. Ammon Bundy was the leader, 41. Standoff, 41. You see how this goes? You see how this goes? Also, Alamo equals 42, and as I predicted, it would end 41 days later, which was the 42nd day of the year, February 11th. You know, The leaders of the ranch were Mormons. Freemasonry runs the Mormon church. Notice Mormon has the gematria of 74, like Masonic. Also like Jesus. Jesus is 74. Just look at here. This is understand that the odds of calculating a word with just ordinal gematria as 74. Understand the odds are very close to about 1 in 100, so about a 1% chance. I just want you to see this. Jesus is 74, Messiah is 74, Gospel 74, parables, Jesus spoke in parables 74, cross 74. Jesus was Jewish 74. The English translation of Jesus is Joshua 74. So all of these things sum to 74 here, right? And there's about a 1 in 100 chance. So if you know how to multiply percentages, the odds of getting two things in a row that are 1 in 100 is 100. 1 in 100 times 1 in 100, which is 1 in 10,000. So 1 in 10,000, 1 in a million, 1 in 100 million. Do you understand? Because this is the real odds of this all working out. So it just goes to show it's all contrived this way. And understand, his name's not Jesus in the Bible. That's the English translation. And again, English is 74. Gematria is 74. So the only people who aren't catching on to gematria are people who are really bad at math. Oh shit, you guys. I just realized that I'm doing all this stuff in the Gematrinator calculator and on my screen, but I'm not screen sharing. So all of this stuff that I've been doing lately when I'm talking, you guys aren't seeing any of it. I apologize, but hopefully I'm speaking clearly enough to follow. So, all right. I'm going to take some questions. And if you guys already asked your questions, you're going to have to ask them again because I'm just going to start reading the chat now. And actually, somebody told me to live chat. They told me to do live chat. And then it won't scroll down on me. So I'm going to see how that works. Okay. How can these ancient letter numbers be perfectly transcribed into our contemporary letters? Very easily. I don't understand why that's such a hang up. Here. How do I turn the screen sharing back on? Too much of a noob at this. Hold on. I just want you to see something. Am I still screen sharing? It says I am. I'll do another live stream just answering that question, but a lot of words in Hebrew have the same values in English. And I don't know why that's such a hang up for you, like why that would be so hard. I mean, if you're building an alphabet that's in tribute to a code that came before it, what's the difficulty in doing it again? I don't understand why that's hard. The questions you guys have for me so often just make me like scratch my head. I'm like, what? Why are you hung up on that? I mean, is it really that hard to even answer your own question? If you're going to build an alphabet in tribute to what came before it, what's so hard? It's like saying, man, that guy built that house across the street. I really like that house. How could I build that house for myself? Oh, how about just build it the exact same way? I mean, doesn't that answer your question? Okay. Let's see. Hey, I just did the live stream. It still skips down. It just did it to me. Well, that didn't solve my problem. Let's see. I'm sure the shill Pete Santilli is connected with the guy you speak of, also a big VAP on the screen, former USMC. I did hear that the guy I was talking about used to be in the military, and I'm always suspicious of people in the military, you know. But I do know that some people come out of the military and it turns them to truth because they realize they were lied to. So all I can say is that the guy that I was talking about, Adam Green, he's making some really nice video compilations, and I wish I had his video editing skills, exposing Zionism. But when he talks and stuff, I notice when he talks, he's always on the defensive. And it's like, dude, get off the defensive and just come with it. You got the videos behind you. That's why I want to link up with this guy and give him some of my knowledge and help him get off. Because he's just... And the reason he could be on the defensive is because he recently just like converted to all of this. Before he was an info warrior, Alex Jones, thinking Donald Trump was the savior. I'm hoping he's authentic because I don't see the videos he's made in recent times exposing Zionism are better than most of the other stuff on YouTube. So I want him to be authentic, but the crew he's running with. And the fact that like InfoWars is doing debates with him, I'm just like, really? I want to get on InfoWars. I want to get on InfoWars so I can get that whole audience informed. This person said it looks like a Yankee year. Well, hey, did you see me in spring training? In spring training, I said I really like the possible World Series of Yankees and Nationals or Yankees and Dodgers, and it still could be. That's what I said in spring training. Joshua Mendoza says, when you take this out in the streets, don't forget to call me. Well, I'll let everybody know. I'm not going anywhere without putting out some announcements. Hey, you know what I would like? Because you guys have been supporting the Patreon and the book, I've been able to save up a little bit of extra money. I still got to, you know what else kills me, you guys? I'm going to have to pay taxes this year because I have like the feds coming to my door and stuff. And I'm going to have to pay a lot in taxes this year. And that really bothers me because I do not want to pay a penny to these people. So I would honestly like to start the revolution before tax season, but that's probably not going to happen. But what I was saying is I've saved up some money. I'm going to have to pay a lot of it in taxes. And but what I was also saying is because I have some money saved up, if somebody out there can get in contact with me and say like, hey, Zach, I've got a venue for you to speak at. All you have to do is get yourself here. But also not only a venue, but I want somebody in the world that's like a mover and shaker that can get a crowd of people there. I just want to do more live stuff. And I want to start going city to city and speaking. I've done this in Seattle with groups of people. Probably never more than 50 people at once. I'd like to have a bigger audience than that. But yeah, it's just really nice doing things live. It's just you can answer people in real time, and there's an energy in the room. And this is what I would like to be doing with the work, rather than speaking through you. Well, I mean, I'd still do it through YouTube. You could set up the live stream and broadcast on the web while you do it. But I'd like to be in rooms speaking to people in real time and having real conversations because it's more inspiring. And the other thing I want to do is grow that Truth Seeker Network revolution like I tried to a couple of years ago before these two dudes sabotaged me. But we have to create some sort of network, some sort of alliance, some sort of communication chain that's ours and that we can mobilize through and get to places. And anyway, just talking out loud about the things I want to do. So yeah, I want to hit the streets as well is what I'm saying. What's the one world currency going to be? I don't know. Something electronic. I've been advertising your book on Instagram and Facebook. I really appreciate that, Alyssa. Thank you. A lot of you guys, I don't think you share my work. I think you just watch it yourself and then you don't share it maybe because you're afraid of getting ridiculed on your social media or something. But you should share it anyway. Have some balls. More people were sharing it, more people would find it. Hey, Zach, after live, could you post some analysis for the evening MLB games? You see where the minds are of so many of my followers? I know you guys want to go out and win money every day, but aren't you guys like more concerned about the fact that they're probably about to collapse the economy and everything else they're planning to do? You know what I mean? Gambling is a real addiction, you guys. Some of you guys just have to gamble every single day. Don't you guys you guys must like that anxious state of being on the cusp of, oh, am I going to win or lose? I'm telling you guys, there's better hobbies in the world. Like decoding propaganda. Somebody says do the super chat. Yeah, I was watching that Adam Green, man. He made a lot of money doing his super chat yesterday. And I was thinking, God, he just made like more money doing this worthless. And his thing last night was just so stupid. There wasn't anything beneficial out of that, but he made several $100s. And I was thinking, man, he made more money off this worthless thing than I made off my book in the first several months. Put out the best book in the history of the world. I couldn't even make any money. This guy gets on here and doesn't even expose anything. Gets several $100s. Come on. People don't know how to invest their money. Gambling's a real addiction, you guys. Some of you guys just have to gamble every single day. Don't you guys like you guys must like that anxious state of being on the cusp of, oh, am I going to win or lose? I'm telling you guys, there's better hobbies in the world. Like decoding propaganda. Somebody says do the super chat. Yeah, I was watching that Adam Green, man. He made a lot of money doing his super chat yesterday. And I was thinking, God, he just made like more money doing this worthless thing than I made off my book in the first several months. Put out the best book in the history of the world. I couldn't even make any money. This guy gets on here and doesn't even expose anything. Gets several $100s. Come on. People don't know how to invest their money. Make a video on Red Dead Redemption 2. What do I don't know about it. Video game? I don't know about it. Oh, Gematria Form's been helping me out building websites and stuff. He's ready to go to the third world. I don't blame him. But then what? I'd be so lonely if you weren't around, man. I need you, and I already have too much to do. I know you help me for free. I need you to keep helping me. And if you're ever in financial need, I've given you my phone number. I don't know why you don't call me, man. I wish you would call because you're always trying to communicate through email and talking about how Google's blocking our emails. Dude, I've given you my number. Why don't you call? Phone, buddy. Call me. Well, if they collapse the economy, I mean, they got a plan. It's not like it's going to be the end of the world. It's just going to be like what they did before. Get people in more desperate measures, get people signed up for the military. No opportunity, just join the military, go start some more wars. Help expand the borders of Israel. Just go fight some more Muslims. That's what they'll do. That's what they'll do. They legalized alcohol. Remember they legalized alcohol for the Great Depression. Alcohol equals 33. They'll legalize the weed. Marijuana equals 88. They'll legalize the marijuana. And hey, I don't have anything against marijuana or any responsible drug use, but the point I'm making is they give this stuff out and legalize it during the times of sorrow just so people can drown out and tolerate. So, can I look into Bitcoin? What, again? Yeah, they do Bitcoin by the numbers. I keep telling people Bitcoin's their thing. So many people think Bitcoin's like the answer to the New World Order currency. It is not. It's their thing. Do I think they'll ever change up the code? No, not in our lifetime. They built this world and this code for a reason. They didn't anticipate anyone breaking the code. But I'm not a threat to them, I am not a threat to them. I can't even get anybody in the truth community to share this work. I can't even get any host on my TFR radio show to share this work. They're all too busy talking about how the Earth's flat. The Earth's flat. Why else would they hide Antarctica? Because the Earth's flat. It's like maybe they'd hide what's in Antarctica because it's frozen ice and there's stuff preserved in the ice that they don't want us to know about. That makes a lot more sense to me than the Earth being flat. Everybody wants to talk about the Earth's flat, not the code that exposes the New World Order every single day. Same people that talk about the Earth being flat want to talk about Donald Trump like he's the New World Order hero. He's going to fight the New World Order. Donald Trump. Somebody said, didn't you moke weed every day? Oh, I was definitely moking the weed. But I haven't been smoking for a while. So, lost most all my friends and family when I started telling them about the truth. Yeah, that's true for most of us, unfortunately. Gambling is a disease. I agree that gambling is a disease. I mean, sometimes it's fun. Like, all things in moderation can be fun, but these guys that just got to gamble every day on every single game, it's like, didn't you win enough money last week? Can't you just chill out for a second? I mean, God, you're spending your whole life visiting the bookie? I mean, come on. For all of you guys who also ask me for more and more picks, I mean, do you know how many hours I spend a week decoding these sports games for you guys? And you guys are paying $5 a month. Your $5 a month gets about literally 100 hours of decoding time for me. And you winning a lot of your bets. So, I mean, honestly, you guys asking for more feels kind of rude to me. I'm already hooking you guys up. And again, learn to fish, man. I taught you guys how to do this. Use your mind. Don't be dependent on other people. I've never been dependent on other people. Not even really my own parents, not since I was young. What are my plans for the economic collapse? Well, write it out. I know what I'm living in. I've been anticipating this for a long time. Surprised it didn't come already. Litecoin equals 42. That must be some cryptocurrency. I don't know what Litecoin is, but yeah, I'm sure a lot of it's coded out. What's the word on 10, 10, 18? You know, that day has 58 numerology. Revelation equals 10, 10 in Jewish gematria. I'll have to look more at that date. That date's got the numbers. Any thoughts on Syria? Is there something new today, or you mean what's been going on? Syria is part of their New World Order plan. A lot of resources in Syria. It's the ancient biblical land. It's the land of the original Christians. This whole thing's biblical. The Christians at Antioch are from Syria. The Phoenix 1988 cover coin is Litecoin. It is? I didn't know. I thought it was just an illustration. Okay, so Litecoin, another 42. We just talked about that in the decode. 1042, Litecoin 42. You guys, I can't do super chats because my channel's not monetized. It's not an option. It would be nice if we talked about your posts. I'll be thumbs down. You just wasted my time. Well, Markel, I already covered it, man. That was the long presentation. You got here late. Now we're taking questions and answers. I kind of wish more of the questions would be about the topic, but this is kind of how it is on my radio show too. I present something and then I pick up the phone and everyone's talking about this, this, and that. And I'm like, man, can we just like talk about the things that are going on in the world right now? Somebody tried to explain the Tisha B'Av prediction to their father. They weren't hearing it. Their father probably was in denial about 9/11 too. Tisha B'Av equals 911 in Jewish gematria, the destruction of the two temples, the destruction of the two towers. Ezra says, get me on to talk about Bitcoin. All right, Ezra, get in contact with me. I'll have you on my radio show this week. My email is my channel name, gematriaeffectnews@gmail.com. So Ezra, just put your name Ezra in caps like 5 times in the headline, and then I'll see it. I'll know that's the email from you. Ezra, 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 Ezra. And then if you have a Skype, I need Skype to get you on my radio show. So make sure you set up a Skype account. I'm going to need that information. I have to connect all people to the radio through Skype. Unless you just want to call in on the call line. That's another thing you can do. Then you can just tell me your number so I can look for it. I don't think you've ever called into my radio show before. Speaking of phone calls, there's some more telemarketing crap. Hell indeed, they would never have me on InfoWars. You know, InfoWars is a shill operation. Hey, we were talking about 42 and Zionism in that cover. Don't forget, Alex Jones equals 42, Alex equals 42, InfoWars 42. For the record, World War 42, War 42, Holocaust 42. The Holocaust supposedly began in 42, Zionism 42, Freemason 42. Alex Jones's birthday is supposedly the 42nd day of 1974, February 11th. Biggest Zionist shill out there, always has been. All he does is scare people with BS, blame things on boogeymen. He's no different than the media and sell you Scooby snacks. I don't have an Instagram, so I don't think they are mine. If Syria is the birthplace of religion, how is Jesus black? I don't know what question you're answering. Syria is not the birthplace of religion. It's where the original Christians were established. Jesus wasn't a Christian. A lot of the questions that are asked are just completely illogical, and you just have to wonder what's going on in these people's heads. It's like, think about what you're writing. Somebody asked me the other day, "Are you Christian?" And I just responded. I said, "Was Jesus Christian?" And they said, "Bye. This channel isn't for me." You know what I mean? It's like I'm asking you a perfectly valid question. Think about what you believe in. You know, religious people don't think; they just believe. The word with the lie in the middle. That's why there's so much sheep symbolism in religion. Let's see. Let's see. The chat's skipping around again, so yeah, you guys should spam InfoWars to get me on. And you should spam every truth channel. Every truth video that doesn't mention gematria, you should just spam gematria all over the comments, the live chat. The whole world needs to know about gematria. It is the thing that exposes all. When you guys are saying, like, watch the video on how Horus equals Jesus, I mean, who do you think you're talking to? You guys don't think I had that information covered over a decade ago? I know you guys are just waking up, but I've been pretty awake for a long time. Most of the things you guys are excited about and newer to you are old news to me. And yeah, I am an arrogant asshole. Happens from living in this world. So they don't need to RFID chip anybody. The smartphone is it. That's our chip. They got us tracked everywhere. We're carrying around GPS unit in our pocket. Something I forgot to cover in the decode of the magazine with regards to October. October has gematria of 666, like Dow Jones, like dollar sign, the 666 talons of gold in the Bible. Remember when the market fell 666 points on the 33rd day of the year? Dow Jones also has that gematria 33. So anyway, October's got the 666. The market got high in the 26,000s, the number we talked about in this decode. It's been falling ever since. That was my prediction from quite a while back, nearly a year ago. I said, we're not going to see the market get above 26,000, then it's going to fall. Whoever told me that the live chat thing doesn't make it skip around is so wrong. It still skips. Yeah, the average dude has never heard of gematria because hardly any of you do anything to help spread it. You know, that's why. Pockets of the Future does not get it. Pockets of the Future, major shill, clickbait channel, horrible channel. Pockets of the Future is. Pockets of the Future was legit, he would be sharing gematria. Joe Rogan, to his credit, actually did a video more than a year ago introducing gematria to his audience. And I doubt that podcast would have ever happened if I was not here putting out all this work. Thank you for buying the book, Mucinda. I appreciate it. Somebody says, when do I take a break from my woman? Well, the nice thing about my woman is she's always studying literally. So she's always working on her thing. I'm working on my thing. It all works out. And again, it skips, so I don't know where we were. Hmm. Crystal says she doesn't mind my arrogant attitude. And yeah, I used to swear a lot more, but I am just trying to keep the whole channel cleaner so there's less reasons to delete. Not that they delete other channels for swearing, but I've had my videos censored for swearing. So sometimes I just can't control myself. 007 says people are waking up. Well, I agree, but we got to accelerate the process. What's up, Eric? Put it on slow mode. Where's that at? Live chat, top chat. I don't have any other options. Slow mode. I don't have that option. Maybe that's something if you have a super chat. Oh my God, it skipped again. It's driving me crazy. You guys, why are you watching Tony's channel? If unless you're watching it for comedic value, I mean, I don't know. You obviously don't know how to use your time wisely. I'll remind you about Tony. He came out of nowhere. The year that I had Super Bowl 50 locked and loaded, that's the year Tony just appeared out of nowhere and he just started making gematria videos. And I'd never seen him comment on any of my videos, never on my blog, but all of a sudden Tony was putting out gematria videos and talking to his wife. Zachary K. Hubbard is wrong, and the Super Bowl is going to be the Steelers and the Cardinals. And I was like, what the? And anyway, it's just been like that ever since. It's just like, the guy's just an idiot. And he does the worst decoding, and it doesn't make any sense. And I can't believe he even has an audience. Feels like he's here to make gematria look stupid. The McDonald's Massacre in 1984. Well, I don't think John's read my book because no one's ever exposed the 1984 massacre. Honestly, guys, I don't mind you repping other work, but why? I just feel like people are always repping other people's stuff. Why not talk about what I exposed about the 1984 thing, the McDonald's massacre? Let's go over it. It was July 18th, 18/7, 187 day, the 187 homicide code in California. And it was exactly 187 days after Ray Kroc, the man who made McDonald's big, died. And the headquarters of McDonald's in Illinois, that town in Illinois, sums to 187. I mean, do you even need to see any more? Fraternal order of police equals 187. And you don't even need anyone to expose it. Just watch the actual news footage. You can see that those are plastic dummies laying in front of the restaurant. I mean, the thing's just pathetic. That's just what I hate about our society. You don't need any of this decoding. You don't need anything. You just need to use your freaking eyeballs on your face and look at what they're putting in front of you. Plastic dummies laying on the ground. Towers being perfectly demolished, knowing that it's a man in a cave, and then all of a sudden they have footage of this guy in a cave. The FBI, the CIA, the military can't find him, but CIA or CNN is the CIA. CNN's doing an interview with him in the cave. I mean, come on, you guys. We're just treated like we're such idiots. Like we're a bunch of goyim. Are we? I mean, sadly, I think the answer to the Talmud is yes. That said, I mean, most of these Jewish folks aren't too bright themselves either. It's not all Jewish folks that are responsible for this, but it just seems that the masses of the world are just complete morons. Am I into other forms of numerology? I only have so much time in a day. I mean, the reason I got into this is because I figured out this is how the New World Order is operating. It's amazing how many people write me and ask if I can do a decode for and tell them like their numerology and all this. I'm not a numerologist, you guys. I'm not a numerologist. I'm an observer of the code. I figured out how the elites use it to rule this world, and that's what I use it for. You know, I've had so many people write me recently saying, Zach, I'll pay you all that. And I could just rip off people and say, okay, send me $100 to your PayPal and I'll do it. But I haven't accepted it from anyway. I'll just say, no, you don't want to pay me to do a numerology reading. I'm not a numerologist. That's not what I do. You know, probably could have made several $1,000s this last month. I probably had as many people write and ask me to do a reading as I've had people buy the book. It's like, God. Read the book and then decode the same way I did my own numbers and make your own observations. It's not that hard. You know, I'm not out here to rip people off or scam people for money. I'm charging people very fair prices for the content I'm putting out. And most of the stuff I do is for free, like this right now. What's with one not being a prime number? I don't know what you're talking about. What's not a prime number? Not all numbers are prime. I don't know what your question is. Let's see. What do I think about the movie Back to the Future? Well, there's a whole lot in that movie. There's a whole lot in that movie. Search my blog for Back to the Future or read my book. You know, last year there was a nice Back to the Future news story. A guy given a ticket for traveling 88 miles per hour in a DeLorean in California. The reason they time travel at 88 miles per hour in Back to the Future is because the number 88 is symbolic of time. There's 4 circles in it, circles of time. 4 circles has 360 degrees times 4. You know, envision it, 88, 4 circles makes 88. 360 times 4, the degrees in the 4 circles, 1440, like how there's 1440 minutes in a day. And in gematria, time equals 144. 144 has a square root of 12. 12 months, 12 hours in the morning, the evening, a hand, or a watch, the hands, the 1 through the 12. I wish I knew more about astrology because I know that this code has a lot to do with astrology. The numerical rituals are the entire language is encoded in what's happening above. And if I knew more about astrology, I'd be able to unlock more. But I mean, it's just so apparent, like the moon landing happening in the time of Cancer when Cancer is ruled by the moon and everything that I uncovered in my book. But yeah. Somebody said that Pockets of the Future mentioned gematria. Did he really? Because I've reached out to that guy a bunch and asked him if he would cover gematria or even if he'd come on my radio show so we could have a conversation. I'm trying to get these other popular YouTube channels to come on my radio show so I can just talk to them and ask them, why they're not using gematria and what their purpose is in the truth community and what they're trying to achieve and why they think they don't need gematria to get there. But, nobody ever gets back to me. So, and in the back of my mind, I'm like, well, is it just because these people they think gematria is stupid? Because I mean, in my own life, I have a lot of people who, no matter how much evidence I show them, they just think gematria is stupid. But at the same time, these people mostly don't care about truth, so I would think that these truth channels would be more open. And I don't know. Overwhelmingly, they haven't been. Isn't it funny the way flat earthers word things? They think their flat earth is just so superior. Anything but the flat earth is just such a joke because everything is so flat in this world, right? Look around the world. Can you find anything flat besides a piece of paper? Serious question. Somebody says Adam Green will never embrace gematria. Well, I don't know that yet. But if he doesn't, then I know all I need to know about him, that he's not legitimate. Somebody says, what about homeschooling peeps? Well, Crystal, I'm sort of doing that. This Tuesday night, starting this coming Tuesday, October 9th, it's going to be the first night of Gematria School. It's only available to my Patreon members. What I said is, if you're an $11 member, that's the top tier, you'll get access to Gematria School every single night, every Tuesday night. Gematria School is going to be at least 2 hours. It'll probably go over every single night, knowing me. But that's going to be where I teach a gematria lesson each night, how to use the code, how to decode the news, and take people's questions. What I also said is for people who can't afford $11 a month, you can join as a $1 a month member, and every last Tuesday of every month, it's going to be open to all the Patreon members. So even if you're a $1 member, you'll get to be in gematria school one night each month. So that means, for $1, you can participate in gematria school. And that's a pretty awesome price, $1 for 2+ hours of tutoring, because the going rate for tutoring is around $50 an hour. Zach has never spoke of blood over intent. Well, maybe because, I mean, a phrase like that, do I even know what blood over intent is? Blood over intent. I don't even know if I can make sense of that phrase. The guy who wrote that's always leaving really weird, cryptic messages and acting like an entitled asshole. And it's like, how about speaking plain English so I know what the hell you're talking about? You know? Thank you for joining the Patreon, Alyssa. James Huberty is the key to all of these fake shootings. I'll have to look into that. I do have trouble believing it's just one person, but I will look into it. It skipped again, so I lost where I was. You guys, I gotta comment on. I just, you know what flat Earth is? It's people who don't know anything about the actual world or the skies above, and all of their misconceptions create their false belief. Like this comment on the screen: thousands of years and more, constellations have never changed their positions. Well, that's completely false. They're very slowly changing. It's about every 2,600 years, so a lot longer than your lifetime. And the other thing that completely disproves the flat Earth is the fact that from opposite sides of the Earth, you see opposite star constellations. I mean, don't you guys realize that's impossible on a flat Earth? Just anytime I have to read the words of flat earthers, it just like it makes me die inside, because it's just like it's just listening to idiots spout off about things that they don't know. Truly. And don't ever forget that the whole flat Earth psyop comes from Zion, Illinois, home of the flat Earth psyop, Zion. I haven't done Wall Street stock picks, but I have said to watch certain dates in the market. And it's like I told people that the market's not going to go above 26,000 because dollar's 26, bank's 26, God's 26, the symbolism of that number. I mean, why is the market even at 26,000 anyway? It just shows you how fake the whole thing is. It's impossible. It doesn't even make sense. Somebody says, is your book seriously 773 pages and only $5? Yep, it is. Like I've always said, I'm never in this for the money. I'm trying to get the word out there. Poor people, rich people, they all need it. Thanks, Suzanne. It's funny. Like everybody has their favorite YouTube channel. I was in that Adam. I'm not normally in other people's live chats, but I was really trying to get a hold of that Adam Green. All these people were messaging Adam. You're the best, Adam. No one exposes the truth like you, Adam. And I was just sitting there thinking, like, really? I mean, this guy's live chat or his whole thing sucks. I mean, the guy who thought Donald Trump was the savior a year ago. He was an info warrior. I mean, I'm glad that he turned the corner and figured this stuff out, but the best? I mean, are you kidding me? I mean, this guy hasn't exposed anything, really. He's good at making compilations of Zionist Jews talking about how elite they are and how we're all just a bunch of dumb goyim. I appreciate that he's doing that. He's very good at making videos, but anyway, just everybody has their own favorites out there, and some people are really bad at saying who the best is. Anyway. How do you determine when gematria in words is accidental? Well, every word has a numerical value, and it's like maybe you decode your name and your name sums to 74. Does that mean you're part of the Masonic Jewish cabal? No. So the way you figure out if it has meaning is if there's a consistent pattern, which is why for a year I did an extensive blog coding exactly what was being it into the headlines day after day after day after day. And that's how I figured out what these things meant. And then I figured out their historical application and their meaning outside of just words and numbers. Like, for example, Masonry, secrecy, order, federal, they all sum to 33. Well, then where's the greater significance of 33? What's it about 33? So I had to figure that out. Oh, Freemasonry is based in Kundalini, and Kundalini is about how spiritual ascension happens up to 33 vertebrae. And lo and behold, people in person equal 33. So, okay, we're building knowledge. And then you do a little more research and you find out that, oh, the Masons have their headquarters in Washington, D.C., named after the 33rd degree Scottish Rite Freemason George Washington. And their building has 33 pillars on the outside, each 33 feet tall. So that's what I mean. You see how the things are coded, like how there's relationships between the words, how beyond the words and numbers, these things have real world application. You know, why does the word star equal 13? Well, there's a sun and there's 12 constellations and they're all considered stars, right? So that makes sense. You know, there has to be meaning beyond just the number and the word. Why is 74 and 47 so important? Well, think about it. This code's biblical. The fourth book of the Bible is Numbers. The divisors of 4 sum to 7. 7's the fourth prime. In Hebrew, where this code comes from, Elohim, the word for God, sums to 47. You know, there's the 47th problem of Euclid about how to establish foundation. Foundation equals 47. The code's in tribute to God. God's the foundation. So that's how you determine if there's meaning. And, you know, trolls, what they do is they'll say, oh, Zachary K. Hubbard equals the same thing as Judas Iscariot. He's Judas Iscariot. But it's like, okay, so what? Did I sell out Jesus for 30 pieces of silver? I mean, Zachary K. Hubbard also equals revelation. And in Revelation 21:7, which corresponds with my birthday, it essentially says that person is, you know, the persistent person who serves God. I mean, isn't that? And I'm not saying that I'm the person from Revelation 21:7 either, but I'm just saying, hey, if you're going to make an argument that I'm Judas Iscariot, wouldn't a better argument be that, oh, wow, your numbers really connect actually with Revelation and Revelation 21:7. And my, oh my, your work actually does seem like you're serving God. So that's just what I mean, okay? There has to be some greater significance behind just a number and a word and then just randomly pairing it with something. I never randomly pair things together. I only pair things together that have relationships. You know, like if you saw the beginning of this video, it started with a little warm up, how today has 53 date numerology and how everything in the headlines right now is 53, 53, 53, 53. And the thing is, if somebody comes across and goes, well, is that just a coincidence today? Well, how about prove it to yourself tomorrow that it isn't, because you will be able to prove it tomorrow and the next day and the day after that and the day after that. And that's why for a full year, I did this research before I made a YouTube video presenting it. Okay. The flat earthers. What makes you think we live on a spinning ball? Hey, how many spins do we do per day? Smart guy. 1 spin per day. You got to love the flat earther videos. They like have a basketball spinning at 100 miles per hour and they dump a bucket of water on it. And they're like, see, if the earth was spinning, all the water would fly off. And it's like, how about let's do a different experiment? Can we spin a ball at the rate of 1 spin per day? That'd be so slow. So, I mean, you're like, you'd hardly even observe the spin. Would drops of water stick to the ball? They would. I mean, go do it right now. Go wet a ball and, I mean, pretty much just leave it there motionless because that's pretty much the rate it spins at. It's hardly spinning. Beads of water are going to stick to the ball. And understand that that's still not a good experiment. I mean, it's ignoring all sorts of important variables. But I'm just saying all of your flat earth analysis is just idiocy. It is. Water can only be flat. It's like, it can? What's a raindrop? I've never seen a flat raindrop. I've seen balls of water, you know, condense. You microwave, you forget to turn the vent on. You got your stove, you got the boiling water, the steam's coming up. You forget to turn on the fan. What happens? The steam starts to pool up into water, and then it turns into a ball, and then it falls down, splashes. Then it kind of looks flat, but it's not even perfectly flat. Oh my God, the flat earthers always pull me in. I just try to cure idiocy, and I don't see any bigger idiocy in the truth community than the flat earth. A link to Zachary decoding his name. Pick up the book Letters and Numbers and read the last chapter, The Organic Side of the Code. Also, just search Zachary K. Hubbard in the YouTube videos, and one of the top videos that comes up is like the organic side of the code. So there's another one where I decode. Where is the curve? Oh God. The flat earthers, when they see the evidence of the curve, they say, oh, that's because of atmospheric refraction. Well, the thing is, atmospheric refraction takes very special conditions that don't exist every single day. But at the same time, every single day, if you look at a city skyline from 30 miles away from water, you're not going to see the bottom part of the buildings because it's behind the curve of the earth. And then I love how the flat earthers can't do mathematics, so they all use this false formula about how the rate of curvature drops off further and further as it gets away from you. But if you just had a logical, rational mind, you'd realize that that's a bogus argument, because that formula would be arriving at the conclusion that depending on where a certain person is standing in the earth determines the rate of curvature, which isn't the way it works. There's a consistent rate of curvature across the entire planet. The flat earthers, they're just like, they're the short bus riders. And they're an insult to the short bus riders, really. Let's see. Somebody says there's a lot of knowledge here, but I'm so angry about something. Well, yeah, I'm so angry about something, man. If you grew up with my life, you'd be an angry person too. I grew up in a household where I hardly saw my parents because they were two working slaves, working 7 days a week, long hours every single day, and all they were was angry, hostile people. And I knew something was severely effed up about this world. Plus, I had to go to school every day, which I knew was wasting my time from the time I was a young age. I had my 6th grade teacher break down crying because she couldn't teach me anything, and she apologized. She knew that the class was too boring for me. I didn't need to be in school. I already knew all the stuff before I was even in there. And I wasn't fooled by these stupid ass lessons. Christopher Columbus discovering a land where people lived. I have a grandmother who's half native, so she helped clue me into that as a young child. But yeah, I mean, I have all sorts of reason to be angry. Got to live with this BS. Got to live in a society of sheep, dumb people, people that can't see the obvious, people who mock me for being ahead of the curve. Everyone turn against me because I speak about 9/11 and all the illegitimate things in this world. I mean, why wouldn't I be angry? I'll tell you what, if I wasn't angry, I wouldn't be doing all this work. Got a fire under me every single day. I also grew up in Portland where they don't put fluoride in the water. I'm guessing you're fluoridated. That's why you're so chilled out. Fluoride, top ingredient in antidepressants, And that's another thing. I've never been on any medication. I've never taken a single pharmaceutical in my life. The only thing that's gone in this body is ibuprofen and Tylenol. That's it. Never taken any other pharmaceutical, pills, nothing. I don't even take NyQuil, none of that. Thanks for signing up for the Patreon. Gematria School every Tuesday night. This person says, give your kid a gematria calculator, not an iPad. Well, you know what? On the iPad, you could have them use the gematria calculator. You get the best of both worlds. Just make them do some gematria exercise. Gematria is really fun on the gematria calculator. Like, just go on there right now and just like type words that have relationships and see what you find. Type shop, spend, store, see what you see. You'll see something. It's amazing how thought out the English language is. We had a big skip here in the chat. I lost where I was again. Where do you sign up for Gematria School? So in the description of this video, you have to click the description. Like if you look below the video, you can probably see the top where it says buy letters and numbers book here. If you click that thing, don't click the link to buy letters and numbers book, but if you click the thing to make the description bigger, more things will come up. And what you should see is buy letters, numbers book, get Gematria Effect merchandise, donate to keep this work alive, support my Patreon. That's the one you want. Support my Patreon here. You click that link. You got to sign up at the $11 tier if you want to be able to do Gematria School every Tuesday night. You got to sign up at the $1 tier or higher if you want to be able to do it on the last Tuesday of every month. Why don't they present us with an uninterrupted image of the ball? Well, okay. So look, I don't want to vouch for NASA or anything NASA's doing because they do lie to us and they contrive all sorts of crap. And I think they're lying about all sorts of accomplishments in space. So don't twist where I'm standing on this. But to logically answer that question, the Earth is massive, okay? And there's weather over the Earth. So if you're trying to create like a perfect image of the Earth, you are going to have to use a variety of photos. You're trying to create a picture of the Earth that shows the Earth in complete clarity and the continents of the Earth. You'd have to use photos over several days and months' time, I imagine, until you got the perfect weather patterns and you could piece it all together. So, that said, I have no doubt that they're lying to us about all sorts of stuff in space. It's like recently NASA and Hollywood combined to make the first 4K video in space. And it's like, well, wait a minute. Why do they need Hollywood there? I understand Hollywood has all the movie geniuses, but I mean, why do you need Hollywood there if you're in space? I mean, we know that Hollywood has mastered contriving zero gravity and stuff. They do it in their films all the time. So obviously they can simulate being in a zero gravity environment. And for how long have they been able to do that? Well, that's something I don't have an answer to. But what I do know is they say the military is at least a half a century ahead of us, and the NASA's the military. So, all the flat earthers who think I'm here to prove the legitimacy of NASA or something, you're completely wrong. NASA established in 58 by Freemasonry, 58, Secret Society 58. So the person said that I let the flat earthers suck me in, and she is right. I believe it's she, or maybe it's a he. I don't mean to insult you. Either way, you are right. I do let them suck me in, but it's just like, it's the bait that I have so much trouble ignoring because it just drives me nuts, man. It's just like, it feeds on the thing that drives me in the first place. People's idiocy. When I'm confronted with idiocy, I just have to say something. But I really do understand that there's no hope for most of these flat earthers. They're in a total belief system. They totally believe the earth is flat with zero evidence. All these years of flat earth now, nobody's gone to the ice wall. They have nothing but excuses for why they can't do it. Nobody's proven a model, and it just doesn't make any sense. It's like people who have no mathematical understanding. Ezra points out that the formula is the Earth is curved at the rate of 8 inches per mile squared. That's because it's 8 inches over a square mile, which isn't one direct line. It's a square, Ezra. That means if you take a square of the Earth in all directions, it's curving at 8 inches. It doesn't mean that it curves 8 inches and then the next mile it curves 64 inches, etc., like you flat earthers are doing for math. Okay, you guys are misunderstanding the rate of curvature in terms of it being over a square mile. So to the east and west is curving 8 inches. To the north and south, it's curving 8 inches. To the northwest, southwest, etc. North, you get it? That's how it's curving. 8 inches per mile. So over 30 miles in a straight line, there's 240 inches of curvature. 30 miles, 240 inches, that is 20 feet. That's why from 30 miles away, you can't see the bottoms of the buildings. You know, it's not that hard to understand. Ezra, since he is a flat earther and believes in this work, I'd like you to think about this, Ezra. The guy who goes after me on TFR, big flat earther, guy that spends all his time talking about the flat earth and the coming rapture. Those are his two topics. They're so important, right? The flat earth and the rapture. He also pokes fun at gematria, you know, and he's also a former government employee. I want you to think about that. I want you to think about that. Do you feel the earth moving? See, I mean, just like you guys, the flat earthers, do you feel the earth moving? Imagine you were on a giant merry-go-round that was as big as the earth, moving at the rate of one spin a day. Do you think you'd feel yourself moving? You wouldn't. God, they are just literally so dumb. These people are just so dumb. That's why 2 years ago, the entire rage in the flat earth was that they had figured out that the sun was 30 miles above our head. And they literally believe that. It's just so pathetic. To believe something like that, you have to have no understanding of mathematics. I mean, just draw a model of a sun 30 miles above a location on the earth. Almost nobody would see it. Almost the entire world would be in darkness. Yeah, Elizabeth Thomas does have a good word for the flat earthers, rainbows. And it doesn't matter what the shape of the earth is. It's just a psyop that was put on the truth community to expose us as, crazies and idiots and mother's basement type people. And a lot of unfortunately, a lot of the truth community, I don't know, they have the sense that they're being lied to, but they don't have the sense to see through most of the con games in the truth community. So okay, I'm just gonna ignore all the flat Earth comments. This is getting too long again, but and when you guys ask me to decode a word, I mean, do you guys need me to come there and tie your shoelaces too? Do you need me to come wipe your ass? I mean, do you guys know how to get to the Gematria calculator, which is linked in the video description of all my videos? What else do you need me to do for you? You need me to make your breakfast and put a spoon in your mouth, tip your head back, and dump the water down your throat? I mean, you guys, it's just so pathetic. Can you decode this word for me? I mean, Jesus, are you too lazy to click on the website and type the word in? Oh, I gotta stop reading the chat. Is Columbus Day already Monday? You're right, it is. I gotta look into Columbus Day. They always got some fat rituals for us on that day. Yeah, Daniel's right. We should all be pissed off about what's going on in this world. It's just amazing to me when people write, "Why are you so angry?" What did you think? Here, you guys want me to be real? Understand. I wouldn't say this if my girl wasn't here. I love my girl. She's great. She's such a blessing. But another reason that I'm angry is when I was younger, I had the perfect woman in my life, you know? And in a lot of ways, I lost her because the one thing we weren't on the same page with was the truth. And I should never had to have been in a world where I was having to all of a sudden focus on the truth and speaking about all the wrongdoing, you know? And I had to make a choice when I was younger. It was obvious it was either going to be her or, like pursuing the way I feel about things. And that's just like a piece of me that'll always be missing. So there's just so many things that make me angry. I should never had to make my life about this. There's a million other things that I would have rather have done in this world than do what I'm doing now. I'm doing what I'm doing now because it's essential. So I think those of you who aren't angry, it's just because you've been living under a rock. You just woke up. I've been awake for a long time. I had my whole life changed because of what happened on 9/11. I was 18 years old then. Life would have been a lot different. And I wish life was a lot different, you know? But everything happens for a reason. And like I said, I mean, I lost that girl, but since then I've met all sorts of other great people. And I've met people from doing this work, which is great. But it's just like, at the same time, I still realize that it didn't have to be this way. And it shouldn't have been this way. I shouldn't have to live in a world where my government blows up buildings and installs a crackhead, son of a former president, and all the people around me are too dumb to see the obvious. You know, those things will wear on you as an 18-year-old. The chat just did a big skip again. I hate it. This John Dozier, I can't figure out if this guy is just like a troll or an idiot too. I mean, sometimes he leaves helpful comments, but Zach needs to get laid pronto. Is that really your comment? Dude, trust me, nobody needs to get laid. I live with my girlfriend, man. That's not the deal. No, my girlfriend definitely doesn't hold out on me. And I mean, that's just it too. I mean, John Dozier actually, in his comments, in his idiocy, exposes what's wrong with the world. For most of you guys, if you get your dick sucked, then you're okay with the New World Order. If you got a porno to jerk off to, you're cool. If you got a beer to sip on, you're cool. I mean, essentially what you're expressing is the New World Order's agenda. And in fact, in light of this code of letters and numbers being from Kabbalah, it's actually sex, the thing that keeps you from ascending. That's why at the bottom of the tree of life is the Sephiroth that represents sex, because you can't even start to ascend until you get over like essentially over obsession with sex. Kabbalah doesn't say that you shouldn't have sex, but it's like the over obsession with sex, which we have as a society, right? I mean, sex is just everywhere. Everything on television is essentially sex. And at this age, I mean, it's just like, it's just at a whole new level. So John Dozier, I don't know what you are. I do see you commenting all the time, and sometimes you leave a decent comment, but half the time I just think, man, this guy's retarded. So exactly. Person's talking about what Trump is. Only sheep can't see what Trump is. Flat Earther says, why are you doing this to me? Please talk about Antarctica. Have you guys seen the movie They Live? They Live, the movie where he gets the glasses and then all of a sudden he can see the messages behind the words. It's like a metaphor for gematria. The motto is they live, we sleep, which has the same numerical value as gematria. The man who made that movie also made the movie called The Thing. And what's interesting is they and Thing both sum to 58, like Freemasonry and Secret Society. But The Thing is set in Antarctica. And a guy called my radio show and tipped me off about this about a month ago, and I did check it out. If you have not seen The Thing, what happens in the movie, and I'm going to ruin it for you, but you can watch it anyway. What happens in The Thing is there's a military outpost up in Antarctica, U.S. military outpost. They're doing research up there. And there's also another military outpost, and it's the Norwegians. And at the beginning of the movie, this Norwegian team comes over to the American base and they're freaking out and they're shooting guns at the Americans, and the Americans don't know what's going on, so they shoot and kill these people. And then they go back to the Norwegian base and they see that they've dug up something in the ground, and it's this weird looking, like deformed human thing. And they don't know what to make of it. So they go back and do an autopsy on it, and they find out it has normal human organs, even though it looks crazy. Then they also find that there's a larger dig site, and they found this alien aircraft. So what ends up happening in the movie is they discover that there's this alien life that this Norwegian team has discovered, and what this alien life does is it takes over a host. So, like, if you came in contact with this alien presence, it would latch onto you and it would dissolve you into nothing, and then it would regrow and come back as you. It would look like you, it would speak like you. It might behave a little bit different than you, but nobody would ever know. So, people who follow John Carpenter, who made these films, they say that They Live and The Thing are actually secretly related films, because in They Live, when he puts on the glasses, not only can he see things behind words, but he can see certain people that look like other people without the glasses. But when he puts the glasses on, he realizes there's something else. And, you can make of that what you will, because nobody knows what's truly happened in this world. You know, there's the belief about the Anunnaki, and I'm not going to tell you that that belief's not true. I don't know that it's true either. Is it possible that aliens came to this planet and colonized this planet and made a hybrid race that's a slave race? I don't know that that's true, but I wouldn't say that it's impossible. Is it possible that an alien life came to this movie like The Thing and contaminated humanity and turned us into what we are? I don't know. But the point is, somebody asked me about Antarctica, and I'm just saying that these two movies are really interesting, and they introduce a thought that'll make you go, because, the people who rule over us, they truly are evil, and, sociopathic people don't care about other people. And from what I understand, anyone can become a sociopath if they're in the right type of environment. If they get enough abuse, traumatization as a child. And, for me personally, I've never seen an alien. I've never seen any proof of aliens. I've never seen a UFO in the sky. My mom's oldest sister swears that she saw a UFO. She always tells that story. But anyway, the entire history of UFOs is by the numbers, by the way, you guys, which I cover in my book and I've made several videos on. But anyway, I'm just saying, there could be something in Antarctica, because again, if anything was going to be preserved in this world from long ago that the elites don't want us to know about, it would be in these frozen, very cold places. Ice preserves things. So every time the flat earthers say they're hiding Antarctica because it's the edge of the world, the edge of the flat world, I'm just like, does that really seem like the most logical explanation? Isn't it that something could be preserved in the ice that they don't want us to know about? That would make a lot more sense. I mean, to me, that makes a lot more sense. The flat earth doesn't make any sense. So anyway, that's what I got to say about Antarctica. Again, I think they're hiding things in the ice that they don't want us to know about. They don't want us to know the truth about our history and what's going on in this world and where we came from. Some people saying they like my anger. That's the thing. I mean, you can't please everyone. I make a video where I cuss. A lot of people say, this video is hilarious. I love your cussing. I feel your passion. And then you read other comments. They're like, I don't think I can follow your channel anymore because cussing is disobedience against God. And I'm just thinking like, well, again, you just can't please everybody. And I mean, some people just need to grow thicker skin. And I know these religious types. These religious types that never cuss but are usually super racist and sheltered and vote Republican. I know these people. They think all you have to do to care about other people is make sure nobody has an abortion. They wouldn't dare give a penny to a homeless person. They wouldn't dare help a stranger. The only love they need to show people is by voting pro-life. I know these people, the holier than thou people whose beliefs make no sense. This person who says we need to do this work for our kids, yeah, I don't even have children because as a 12-year-old, I realized I would never want to bring another child into this world. I remember that it was 12 because I had this big conversation with my sister. She was getting the age where she was thinking about having some children. And she was just, my sister's a lot older than me. She was thinking, when you grow up, you're going to change. And I said, I don't think so. I saw the world a lot more clearly than my sister always. I said, I would never want to bring any children in this world. This world's for dumb people. If I had a child, that child would be smart and he'd be as miserable as I am. So that said, sometimes I do wish I had a child because I mean, children are a lot of fun and you can teach them things and have good times and make good memories. But I got to see the world change before I bring a child into this hell. So that's why I teach, or that's why I used to teach before I got banned from teaching. I do really enjoy working with children and helping children out. Worked in group homes, teen homeless shelters, done a lot of coaching. Let's see. The Gematria Forum says that my other girlfriend was a different blood type. You know, I don't know what her blood type was, but she was a very smart person, and she was everything, man. She was beautiful, smart, funny. You know, my girlfriend right now is all those things too. My girlfriend's actually the funniest female I've ever met, but it's just, you know, you're younger. When you're younger, it's like the girl was probably like my first real love, you know. So you know, I just could have been a happier person. That's what I realized. Oh my God. Every time I try to scroll through this thing, it jumps and then I lose all the comments I'm supposed to respond to. Somebody points out that Alien has lie right in the middle, and I don't disagree. I don't disagree. I suspect that we've been lied to in a million different ways, including that. That's just one more thing for people to divide and fight over. But again, I won't say that anything's impossible. I won't say that anything's impossible. Oh, John Dozier's a flat earther too. God, no wonder. Somebody says, I pay for all my girlfriend's bills. I'm old world. I think the man's supposed to pay for the woman's bills. So, all the people who are so against vulgarity, you guys are just like too prissy for me. I mean, words are words. They express something, they mean something. Vulgarity does not establish courage or insight. Yeah, but it expresses something, you know. If you don't think I have insight or courage, well, then you're just an idiot. I don't need a moderator. I mean, sometimes I'd like to read the shill comments and the troll comments because it just it's like this is all they got. Oh, they got nothing. All right, you guys, I'm making this video really long, just talking to the chat like I've been doing lately. And I have so much other stuff to do, but I do try to answer your questions. I'm gonna have to look into this if this is true. An ejaculation takes away a lot of zinc from your body. Well, it's got to take away some minerals, right? Zinc is necessary to help you think, focus, and memory. Now imagine all this people jerking off all day with so much porn out there. Yeah, yeah. You know who I hate? I hate the radio host Michael Savage, whose real name is Michael Weiner. Jewish guy out of San Francisco, big Zionist shill, big right winger, big Republican. But the only time I ever heard him say anything that was true, it was over a decade ago now. He said, "Why do you think they're putting out all this free porn on the web for you guys? Don't you see that they just want you just like focused on your unit and not paying attention to anything else?" And I was like, "Finally, Michael Weiner of all people says the truth." Can you guys see my screen right now? Flat Earther writes, please explain the 1038, 00 miles an hour spinning Earth. You can't even put his commas in the right place. The Earth spins at one rotation a day. Do the mathematics on how big the Earth is and how fast it has to move to do one rotation, and then look up the word relativity. Relativity, word of the day. Have you ever noticed if you're like going 20 miles an hour on a scooter down a hill, it feels like you're going really fast? If you're on a little scooter and you're going 20 miles an hour, it feels like you're just flying. But then you're in a big airplane flying 600 miles per hour, and you don't even really notice it. It's all part of that relativity thing. Santeria, yeah, that Santeria. Why don't you decode Santeria? Yeah, absolutely. All the religions of the world are Masonic, and they're all built on this code of letters and numbers. They all go back to Kabbalah. Kabbalah, all the old world spiritualities, Kabbalah, Hermeticism, Kundalini. This is what all the new religions are built on. They're all built on the old. It's like they all renovated what came before it. If you got to decode, make a blog. Phone call from 369. Last time I got a call from that area code, it was some Indian guy telling me he was the IRS. No, you're not. Click. All right. All right. I uh, I think I'm going to wrap this up. If you got here and you were waiting for the decode on the magazine, it was at the beginning. However long it's been, I've just been answering questions in the chat. The chat has turned into a flat earth conversation. Not hard to see why this whole flat earth psyop was brought to the truth community. It's like people yelling Freebird at a concert. The face cam, I this is the first time I did live stream on a Google Hangout, and hold on. I've never done a Google Hangout, so I'm still trying to let me see if I can actually bring back my face. Let's see. Now can you guys see me? I guess I could have done that rather than keep up that screen the whole time, but yeah. So anyway, make a few moderators. Well, I got to figure out who to trust. It's hard to know who to trust in this world. I could trust Gematria for him. I'll make him a moderator. The reason I trust him is because he's always doing all this stuff for free that I don't even ask him to do. Add moderator. All right, we got one moderator, Gematria Forum. He's now a moderator. I'll figure out who else to make a moderator, but He already has enough to do. I don't even know if he wants that, but he can clean up the trolls for me. All right, you guys. You know what I'm going to do? Once this video fully uploads, I'm going to cut off all of this stuff with the chat because I don't want the video to be so long. I want people to actually watch the video about the magazine cover. And I guess you guys just got the privilege of getting to enjoy the chat in real time. Or actually, I'll wait and see what your opinion is. Do you guys think I should delete all of the part of the video that was the chat besides the magazine presentation, or should I leave it up? I'll make Brandon D a moderator too. I trust him. He's been here a long time. Brandon D can be a moderator. Oh yeah, I got a lot of books. I read. I read. Gematria form. I didn't say to ban Brandon D. He's good. Maybe I'm just misunderstanding your comment. My moderators are already taking care of the flat earthers. I love it. Just give 2 men a wrench and done deal. Yeah, E. Miller, I recognize that name. He's been around a long time. I'm going to make him a moderator too. I know who to trust because I've seen these names around for a long time. All right, let's see. Oh, Chigozi Truth, he can be a moderator. Absolutely. So now I got 4 new moderators. Christos, he can definitely be a moderator. This guy's Mr. Generous. I keep telling him, you've already sent me enough money, but he is winning money off my picks. Let me make him a moderator. He's always missing the live chat, but he's here today, and he showed up just in time to become a moderator. So, in more time, I'll add more moderators, but these are all people that I recognize and who've been around for a long time and who help with the work. No, don't ban Ezra. Ezra's the only flat earther that's allowed to talk about the flat earth. I'm serious. Do not ban Ezra Goldfinkelsteinberger. He's the only one that's allowed to vent about the flat earth. I tolerate some flat earthers such as him. He's a good contributor. He's right on everything except for the flat earth. We just have to agree to disagree there. And he can think his cryptocurrencies are going to save the world too. I don't care because I stand for everything else he's about. So don't you dare ban Ezra. I'd almost make him a moderator, but I'm worried to start banning people speaking against the flat earth. All right, you guys. I'm spending too much time in this live chat. I like to talk with you guys, but I've been on a long time, so. Taiwan Gant and Corky Duke, they're both good too. Taiwan Gant, you get to be a moderator. Corky Duke, welcome to the moderator club. The trolls won't stand a chance. But just make sure nobody bans Ezra. Sometime Ezra might pop off about the flat earth. He's the only one who's allowed to talk about it. You know what else? I recognize this crazy rocker. They're real loyal too. Everybody who's loyal gets to be a moderator that I recognize. And, Yoey, honestly, you've been making a lot of good comments lately. I don't know how long you've been around for, but since you brought up the moderator thing, you can be a moderator too. All right, you guys. Appreciate all the support. Oh, Marty, of course, Marty. Marty, my comedy in chief. Sometimes you might misunderstand Marty's comments because he's a comedian, but good guy. Don't you dare ban Marty. He's a moderator too now. Alrighty, true seekers. Thank you for tuning in. I just have to figure out how to tune out now. Never done it this hangout way. Oh, here it is. Until next time.